Stoicism and Karma. Part 1. Two Paths, One Law. Understanding Stoicism and Karma. 1. The Meeting of Two Worlds. Across thousands of miles and centuries of time, two great traditions rose from opposite horizons. In the East India, Tibet-China sages spoke of karma, the moral echo of every thought and deed. In the West, Greece and Rome, philosophers like Zeno, Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius taught Stoicism, the discipline of aligning one's will with reason and nature. They never met, never exchanged letters, yet both asked the same human questions. Why do things happen? What governs our fate? How can a person live well in a world of consequence? Different languages, same longing. Karma looked upward to the law that binds energy and intention. Stoicism looked inward to the reason that orders the universe. But both agreed. Nothing happens without a cause, and every cause carries its return. 2. The roots of each path. Stoicism was born in Athens around 300 B.C., when Zeno of Citium began teaching at the Painted Porch, the Stoa Poikile. It taught that virtue is the only true good, vice the only evil, and everything else, fame, wealth, health, loss, is indifferent. The wise person lives according to nature, accepting what cannot be controlled and mastering what can, thought, choice, and attitude. Karma, centuries older, grew from the Sanskrit word karman, action. In Hinduism and Buddhism, it means every act, word, or thought sets energy in motion that inevitably returns. It is moral gravity. What you sow, you reap. What you emit, you meet. Both systems were born from observation, not superstition. They watched life long enough to see the same pattern order beneath chaos, justice within change. 3. Common ground. At first glance, they seem different. Stoicism has no doctrine of rebirth or cosmic reward. Karma often speaks of lifetimes and spiritual continuity. Yet when you remove the metaphors, the heart of both beats alike. The Stoic and karmic principles mirror each other closely. The Stoic says, live in accordance with nature, while the karmic path says, live in harmony with Dharma, the universal order. Stoicism teaches that every action springs from inner intention. Karma agrees, saying that intention determines the weight of every deed. The Stoic believes virtue creates tranquility. Karma calls it right action that creates good return. And when Stoicism warns that vice breeds disturbance, karma reminds us that wrong action always brings suffering. 4. The law behind both. Imagine a thread running through everything that lives, a current of cause and consequence. The Stoics called it logos, the rational fire that shapes all things. Eastern teachers called it arta, or Tao, the natural law that keeps the stars from colliding. Logos and karma are two sides of one principle, order through return. Nothing drifts unanchored. Every motion seeks balance. You may delay justice, but you cannot dissolve it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. That is karma rendered in Roman ink. 5. Different motives, same wisdom. The Stoic strives for virtue, to act rightly because it is rational. The follower of karma strives for balance, to act rightly because it maintains harmony. One speaks of wisdom, the other of purity. Both reach peace. Both understand that wrongdoing injures the doer first. Seneca said, the punishment of wrongdoing lies in the act itself. A Buddhist would agree completely. Evil action plants the seed of suffering in the actor's own mind. So whether you picture a universal judge or a psychological law, the result is identical. Your inner state shapes your outer fate. 6. Why these ideas endure empires fell. Languages died. Yet Stoicism and karma still walk among us because they describe something unchangeable, the pattern of consequence. In every age, people see injustice, loss, success, and wonder. Why them, not me? Both philosophies answer, because every moment is the echo of previous moments, and every choice today is tomorrow's echo forming. That realization transforms life from chaos into curriculum. The world stops being unfair and starts being instructive. 7. Beyond fear toward freedom. Many hear karma and feel threatened. What if I'm punished? The Stoic hears cause and effect and feels liberated. Then I can improve my causes. The goal is not fear of consequence, but freedom through understanding. If you know the rules of fire, you stop burning yourself. If you know the rules of karma, you stop creating pain. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Karma says the same thing differently. You are bound by your actions until you act with awareness. Freedom begins where reaction ends. 8. The moral compass of nature. Neither system requires a deity to enforce justice. They rely on nature's moral symmetry. When you act with virtue, the mind harmonizes with the order of things. When you act against it, dissonance appears as anxiety, guilt, or chaos. This is why Marcus Aurelius could write, "A wrongdoer wrongs himself. He becomes worse by his own action." He was describing karma in Stoic form, the inner corrosion that follows misalignment with reason. 9. The purpose of pain. Both Stoicism and karma see pain not as punishment, but as instruction. The Stoic endures hardship to cultivate virtue. The karmic student experiences difficulty to complete understanding. Pain says, "You have touched fire. Learn its heat so you stop touching." That's mercy disguised as discomfort. When you grasp this, suffering loses its sting. It becomes signal, not sentence. 10. Transition. We've seen that Stoicism and karma, though born worlds apart, are twin mirrors reflecting one principle. You are always creating the conditions you will later inhabit. In Part 2, The Stoic Cause and the Eastern Return, we'll look at how every thought, habit, and act sets energy in motion, how Stoic virtue and karmic balance explain the same moral mathematics through different languages, and how to work with that law consciously instead of unconsciously writing your future. Because understanding is power, but conscious action is freedom. Part 2. The Stoic Cause and the Eastern Return, How Actions Shape Destiny 1. The Hidden Mechanics of Action. Nothing in life happens in isolation. Every movement of the mind or body sets another motion into being. A word spoken, a thought repeated, a decision delayed, all ripple outward, shaping the quality of what returns. The Stoics saw this clearly. They taught that we are co-authors of the world through our choices. Karma says the same thing. Your actions are the seeds of your future. Both systems whisper the same warning and promise. What you nourish will nourish you back. What you neglect will neglect you in return. 2. The Stoic Cause. In Stoicism, the engine of destiny is virtue. Virtue is not moral decoration. It is the structure of reality itself. To act with reason, courage, temperance, and justice is to move in rhythm with the universe. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." He meant that your inner motive determines the quality of your outer fate. When thought, word, and deed align with reason, the Stoic says you are living according to nature. When they break from it, you fall into discord, and discord always seeks correction. That correction is what the Eastern mind calls karma. 3. The Eastern return karma explains the same harmony in different imagery. It says, every action is energy released, and every energy must complete its circuit. If you plant greed, you reap emptiness. If you plant compassion, you reap peace. The Buddha described karma as a wheel turning. Every spoke is an action. Every rotation brings back its origin. You cannot outrun it because you are part of it. So while Stoicism emphasizes rational discipline, karma emphasizes moral resonance, both describing the same cosmic rhythm in two dialects of truth. 4. Intention, the common core. Both philosophies agree that what truly matters is not appearance but intention. You can give to charity for praise or for love. Karma reads the motive, not the receipt. You can act brave for applause or from integrity. Stoicism honors only the latter. Seneca warned, "No man is good by chance." Virtue is something you must learn, and the Bhagavad Gita echoes, "The motive alone is thy right, never the fruits of action." In both worlds, purity of motive is the true seed of freedom. 5. Reaction, the instant karma. Before consequences mature in the outer world, they bloom in the inner one. When you lie, notice how anxiety appears immediately. When you speak truth, feel the quiet after. The Stoic called this the immediate judgment of conscience. Karma calls it instant fruit. Nature wastes no time giving feedback. You do not wait for the storm to realize lightning burns. You feel it as it strikes. 6. The law of habit. Karma extends beyond single moments. It accumulates through repetition. A single act becomes a habit. Habits harden into character. Character shapes fate. Epictetus said, "Every habit and faculty is confirmed and strengthened by the corresponding acts." And Eastern teachers agree, as you sow, so shall you become. Your habits are the pattern of karma written in daily ink. You do not need to look to past lives to see karma. Your morning routine is enough. 7. The role of mind. The Stoics taught that perception is the sculptor of experience. Change your judgments, and you change your reality. Buddhist masters said, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. Both point to the mind as the field where causes begin. If you wish to change your karma, start by editing your thoughts. If you wish to change your destiny, start by refining your interpretations. When reason governs perception, peace follows naturally. 8. The error of blame. The opposite of wisdom is blame. Both Stoicism and karma reject it completely. The Stoic says, what is outside your control cannot injure your virtue. Karma says, no one can give you karma you have not invited. This is not victim blaming. It is empowerment. It means your response, your awareness, can transform even injustice into growth. Life does not happen to you. It happens through you. When you understand this, resentment dissolves and responsibility begins. 9. The balance of reward. Neither Stoicism nor karma promises easy rewards. They both teach that right living brings tranquility, not necessarily comfort. The Stoic finds joy in self-command. The karmic seeker finds joy in moral alignment. Both measure wealth not in possessions but in peace. Seneca wrote, he is most powerful who has himself in his own power. Karma would call that good return, mastering desire rather than being mastered by it. 10. When causes mature, every action ripens at its appointed time. You cannot rush fruit by pulling on the branch. Karma unfolds at the pace required for comprehension. Likewise, Stoicism teaches patience. No great thing is created suddenly. Fate waits until the lesson can be understood. So when life delays, remember, the law is not denying you, it is preparing you. 11. The circle of self-correction. Both systems reveal that the universe is self-healing. If you move against virtue, disorder arises to correct you. If you move with it, harmony sustains you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What injures the hive injures the bee." To act against nature is to injure yourself. To act in accordance with it is to heal the world through your own being. That is the circle of karma in Stoic terms, a cosmos constantly guiding itself back to balance. 12. Transition. You've now seen how Stoic cause and Eastern return speak the same language of consequence, action, intention, and correction. In Part 3, Between Fate and Freedom, we'll explore what these traditions say about control, whether destiny is fixed, and how a wise person moves freely within it. Because the deepest mastery is not escaping fate, but cooperating with it consciously. Part 3, Between Fate and Freedom. What Stoicism and Karma teach about control. 1. The old question. From the dawn of philosophy, one question has echoed through temples and marketplaces alike. How much of life is ours to control? The Stoics called it fate, the Eastern teachers called it karma, and both understood that though the forces of life are vast, the power of choice still burns inside us like a steady flame. We cannot command the wind, but we can set our sails. We cannot control what happens, but we can control what it becomes inside us. That is where freedom hides, not in events, but in response. 2. The Stoics' view of fate. The Stoics believe the universe was guided by logos, divine reason, a rational order threading through all existence. Everything that happens is a strand in that great tapestry. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Whatever happens to you was prepared for you from all eternity, and the chain of causes was woven from the beginning." Yet Stoicism is not passive. It doesn't tell you to bow to fate. It tells you to collaborate with it. Fate gives you conditions. Virtue gives you command. You may not choose your circumstances, but you always choose your conduct. Freedom, for the Stoic, is mastery of self within the necessity of nature. 3. The karmic view of fate. Karma sees life not as pre-written, but as self-written through action. You are the author of your own conditions, sometimes from the distant past, sometimes from yesterday. Fate is not imposed from above, it's the reflection of choices ripening in time. In Hindu and Buddhist thought, destiny is flexible. Change the quality of your actions, and you rewrite your next chapter. This is not fatalism, it's moral physics. You are bound by your past, but liberated by your present awareness. That's where Stoicism and karma shake hands again. Both say that the wise man owns his reactions and through them, his future. 4. The paradox of control. The more you try to control everything, the less you actually can. The more you master yourself, the more the world begins to move in harmony with you. This is the Stoic paradox. Control begins with surrender. Epictetus said, "Chantin, some things are up to us and some are not." That single sentence could summarize both Stoicism and karma. When you obsess over what isn't yours to control, timing, recognition, reward, you create inner chaos. When you focus on what is, intention, discipline, virtue, you align with order. That alignment is the core of good karma and the essence of Stoic calm. 5. Acceptance is not weakness. Many confuse acceptance with resignation. The Stoic accepts reality not because he's powerless, but because he refuses to waste power. Acceptance redirects energy from frustration to focus. It's saying, I cannot change this moment, but I can master myself within it. Karma echoes the same lesson. What you resist persists. What you understand transforms. When you stop fighting what is, karma shifts its tone. Pain turns to clarity. Confusion turns to calm. 6. How freedom works. The Stoics would say, you are free the moment you stop being a slave to desire and fear. The Buddhists would say, freedom is not getting what you want. It's wanting nothing to enslave you. Both point to inner liberty, a state where your peace no longer depends on events. When you are anchored in virtue, storms may come, but they cannot uproot you. When you are ruled by ego, even a breeze feels like destruction. So freedom isn't doing whatever you please. It's being pleased regardless of what happens. 7. Destiny and discipline. Fate sets the stage, but you write the script. Karma delivers the results of yesterday, but Stoic discipline writes tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius never asked to be emperor, yet he ruled himself before he ruled Rome. Buddha never asked to be worshipped, yet his discipline rewrote humanity's understanding of suffering. Discipline doesn't fight fate, it refines it. Through disciplined thought and ethical action, both traditions teach you to become a conscious participant in destiny, not a passenger. 8. The inner climate. You cannot always choose the weather, but you can always choose your climate. That is how a Stoic and a sage both live above circumstance. Seneca said, the wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. Karma agrees. Contentment is not luck. It's alignment with the flow of things. When your internal weather is calm, even a storm becomes scenery. 9. Suffering as feedback. Stoicism and karma both treat suffering as feedback, not punishment. Pain means imbalance. It's the body of life alerting you to misalignment. Epictetus taught his students to observe pain as information. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. Karma says, when you do not learn through wisdom, you will learn through consequence. In both, the message is mercy. Life keeps teaching until understanding dawns. 10. The balance between fate and effort. Stoicism reminds us effort without wisdom is chaos. Karma reminds us wisdom without effort is waste. Fate provides the canvas. Effort paints it. Awareness frames it. The Stoic wakes each day and says, I will act rightly. The karmic mind says, I will act mindfully. Both are prayers to the same universe, spoken through different accents. 11. The calm in chaos. Imagine a warrior in the middle of battle. He cannot stop the arrows or silence the sky, but inside, his breathing remains steady. His judgment remains clear. That's the Stoic in motion, calm inside chaos. That's the karmic master, acting without attachment to result. You cannot remove turbulence from the world, but you can remove its permission to enter your heart. That is the power both paths offer. 12. True power. True power is quiet because it no longer needs control. It no longer demands outcomes. It influences them naturally through stability. Marcus Aurelius said, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Karma adds, your energy teaches louder than your words. The calm person becomes the center of order in a disordered world. His stillness reshapes his surroundings, and that is the highest form of control. 13. Transition. You've now seen that Stoicism and karma both reveal freedom, not as rebellion against fate, but cooperation with it. Both teach that peace comes from aligning will with wisdom. In Part 4, The Living Practice, we'll turn philosophy into practice, how to use Stoic and karmic wisdom in daily life, how to speak, act, and think in ways that create peace instead of consequence, and mastery instead of confusion. Because philosophy that isn't lived isn't real. It's only read. Part 4, the living practice. Applying Stoic and karmic wisdom daily. 1. Turning philosophy into practice. All philosophy is theory until it's tested in daily life. Reading Marcus Aurelius won't make you calm. Practicing his reflections will. Quoting the law of karma won't change your destiny. Living by awareness will. Both Stoicism and karma were never meant to sit on altars. They were meant to be applied in the noise of ordinary days, when you're cut off in traffic, when someone lies to you, when your plans collapse. That is where these ideas become alive, when the test arrives. 2. Morning. Setting intention. The Stoic begins each morning by preparing the mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up, remind yourself, today you will meet the selfish, the ungrateful, the arrogant, but none of them can harm your virtue." In the East, monks greet dawn with reflection, "May my thoughts, words, and actions today create peace." 2 voices, 1 act, conscious beginning. Before you move, pause and set your inner tone. Ask yourself, what energy will I release today, because that energy will return by nightfall. 3rd, guarding thought. Both Stoicism and karma teach that thought is the seed of destiny. If you water worry, you harvest restlessness. If you water gratitude, you harvest peace. Seneca warned, "Acanim, we suffer more in imagination than in reality." And the Dhammapada echoes, "All that we are arises with our thoughts." Guard the doorway of your mind. Every judgment you entertain becomes a silent prayer to the universe saying, "More of this, please." So make your thoughts worthy of repetition. 4. Choosing words. Wisely speech is the halfway point between thought and action. Karma and Stoicism both see words as living forces. The Stoic rules speak only what is true, necessary, and kind. The karmic law. Whatever you release in sound returns as echo. Before you speak, ask, will this heal or harm? Silence, when rooted in awareness, is never weakness. It is respect for the unseen consequences of language. Epictetus advised, "Let silence be your general rule, or say only what is necessary and in few words. Every word you spare becomes a shield against regret." 5. Acting without attachment. The world measures success by outcome. Both Stoicism and karma measure it by intention and effort. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "You have the right to work, but not to the fruits of work." Epictetus mirrors him, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." This is liberation, to act with full heart, but without chains to result. When you detach from outcome, your energy becomes clean. Your work becomes worship instead of warfare. 6. Responding, not reacting. Life constantly throws sparks. Reaction throws fire back. Response builds light. The Stoic trains pause between impulse and action. The karmic master trains awareness between stimulus and habit. That small pause is where transformation happens. It's where karma rewrites itself, and Stoic virtue breathes. When anger rises, breathe once before speaking. When fear whispers, breathe once before deciding. That single breath separates chaos from clarity. 7. Dealing with others. Every interaction is a mirror. Those who test you reveal your unfinished lessons. The Stoic doesn't hate the difficult person. He uses them as practice. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "The wrongdoer has done you no harm if you remain unchanged." Karma adds, "Every soul you meet is either a reflection or a teacher." So when people disappoint you, see them not as obstacles, but as opportunities to demonstrate control. Each moment of patience adds new harmony to your account. 8. Handling pain and loss. Both Stoicism and karma accept pain as unavoidable, but suffering as optional. The Stoic says, if it is endurable, then endure it. The karmic sage says, suffering ends when resistance ends. Pain refines the soul, it burns illusions and clarifies values. When something leaves, it isn't punishment, it's space being made for alignment. Every heartbreak, every failure, every delay carries a hidden correction. If you meet it with grace, it becomes evolution instead of erosion. 90 evening, reflection and return. Just as morning sets the tone, evening resets the compass. The Stoics reviewed their day before sleep. What did I do well? What did I do poorly? What can I do better? Karmic tradition calls this self-audit, scanning the mind for residue of anger, pride, or regret, and releasing them before rest. This nightly cleansing ends cycles of guilt and begins cycles of peace. You go to bed lighter, and the next dawn responds with clarity. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Repetition without reflection turns karma into routine. 10. Living in service. Stoicism and karma both expand the idea of self. You cannot live virtuously while harming others, nor build good karma through selfishness. Seneca said, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. The Bodhisattva vow echoes, may I be a lamp for those who need light. When your actions aim to uplift rather than impress, the universe opens quietly in your favor. Service purifies intention, and pure intention purifies fate. 11. The balance of detachment and compassion. Detachment is not indifference. It's caring deeply without clinging painfully. The Stoic stands calm in chaos. The karmic master stands kind in clarity. You can love people and still let them go. You can give effort and still accept results. You can care for the world and still rest in peace. That balance is maturity, to be warm but not burning, involved but not entangled. 12. Modern practice. The 3 questions. Each day ask yourself 3 questions, simple yet transformative. What did I release today that will return to me tomorrow? What am I resisting that life is trying to teach me? Did I act from reason or reaction? Those 3 reflections combine the essence of Stoic mindfulness and karmic awareness. Answer them honestly, and you will evolve faster than any book can teach. 13. The quiet power of gratitude. Gratitude is the highest frequency in both traditions. The Stoic is grateful because gratitude aligns the soul with reason. The karmic mind is grateful because gratitude multiplies good energy. When you thank life, even for its storms, you neutralize their sting. Gratitude is not denial of pain, it is recognition of progress. It tells the universe, I am ready for more lessons, not more suffering. 14. The living circle. As your practice deepens, you'll start to see the circle clearly. Your thoughts shape your actions shape your experience shapes your thoughts again. That circle is both Stoic and karmic, eternal, just, and exact. But awareness lets you guide it, rather than be dragged by it. When you sow consciously, reap patiently, and act virtuously, the circle becomes a dance instead of a trap. 15. The final reflection. Karma tells you you are living in the harvest of your past choices. Stoicism tells you you are free in the next choice you make. Together they whisper, you are both the farmer and the field. Every day you plant seeds in thought, speech, and behavior. Plant peace, and peace will come. Plant envy, and envy will grow. The universe doesn't punish, it mirrors. Life doesn't owe, it reflects. And when you understand that, every moment becomes sacred, because the way you live today is the karma of tomorrow, and the peace you feel right now is the virtue of this moment. 16. Closing words. So live deliberately, speak truthfully, think clearly, give kindly, and let both stoicism and karma meet in you, where reason becomes compassion and discipline becomes grace. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." And the ancient teachers of karma would smile and add, "Because every good act returns to its source." Let that be your practice. Let that be your peace. Let that be your power. Thank you.